guys, this is Courtney from Willow's Bloom, and today I'm going to talk to you about what is going on in the astrology for September. And I'm super excited to chat with you guys about this and go over it for all of the signs. It's probably going to take me a second. It's my first video doing this for all of the signs for the whole month. So I'm just trying to find my footing and see how I can do it in the most timely way possible. Okay, so before I get started, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm not going to really be talking about the moons this month because I will still come out with my new and full moon videos for all the signs. So I'm going to go over that in explicit detail. Explicit? Is that the right word? I feel like that sounds the right word. I'm going to go over it in detail in the other videos, so let's not harp on it here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off. All right, up next we have Sagittarius and Sagittarius Rising. So just before I get started, I wanted to talk about how I'm breaking up this reading. So since it's a full month, I decided to take it planet by planet. So each planet I'm going chronological order. So it kind of jumps around because I'm taking it planet by planet. If you don't like that, let me know in the description or the comment box below. And yeah, okay, so the sun for you guys is going to be moving through your 10th house of career. So for most of the month until the 22nd, you're going to have your sun in Virgo in your career sector. So this is a time for you to really focus outwardly on your legacy, on your impact on the world, on your relationship with authority figures, on the way that you want to be seen and understood, and especially, yeah, your career, your job, any way that you want to leave your footprint behind. That's a big focus for you for the first 2/3 of the month. On the 6th, the sun is going to make a trine to Uranus, which is in your 6th house. So you might have a little bit of a shift in terms of career or the way that you pursue your work or the way that you set up your routine. You might have like a different impact or relationship with your higher ups or with colleagues. You might have some realizations about some area like that. This is coming on the back of Venus making a square to Pluto on the 5th. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. But Venus will be in your 11th house, squaring Pluto in your 2nd house. So this could be in terms of money or relationships. I'll talk about that later. But because of whatever came up at that time, I think you're going to have sudden insights, sudden shifts, or sudden realizations that are going to be really helpful for you. And look at the card that I pulled for you guys, Queen of Wands, which says determination. This is you guys sinking into your power, being very driven in your career and being determined to see your ideas get out there in the world. And I feel like the sun trining Uranus on the 6th is going to help liberate you or create any change that could be blocking that determination or that momentum forward. On the 14th, the sun is going to oppose Neptune. This is a much more internal energy. You could be seeing yourself have more issues or dynamics come up in regards to home versus family. You might feel like your energy is drawn a little bit more towards the home, but you want to be out in your career. This is a little bit of conflicting energy. You might feel like some of the inspiration is there, but you don't necessarily have the drive or the ambition on this day to go and pursue it. But just 2 days later, when on the 16th, when the sun makes a trine to Pluto in your 2nd house, I feel like you're going to be a lot more motivated. It's going to ignite you again. You're going to want to pursue finances, pursue this level of stability to, again, create something very tangible for people in the world that others can benefit from. So I think that's going to be a really... Oh wow, I pulled a lot of cards going on here. That's too many. I'm trying to pull just like 2 cards. But yeah, so the 16th, I feel like whatever, energy was going into your home is now going to be put outward into making money again. You're going to be like, wow, I can't just take off of work, or I can't just stay home and relax. Like I have to, make a living, make some finances. On the 29th, the sun is going to be in your 11th house. Well, it's actually going to be there on the 22nd, but it's already going to be there when this aspect occurs between the sun and Saturn. So the sun will trine Saturn on the 29th, and Saturn is in your 3rd house. So to me, this is receiving some kind of positive indication in terms of like connections with other people or information that you're going to receive that's going to help move things forward in terms of long-term goals, or in terms of solidifying current relationships or receiving help from people in higher places or people with more connections or more opportunities. I feel like somebody could be sharing an idea with you, or they could be, again, connecting you with someone or giving you some kind of opportunity. There is something here where you have something coming in that requires some level of commitment and responsibility to, but is also going to be really helpful for long-term success in your career. Let's talk about Mercury, which is our planet of thinking and communication. So Mercury, for all of us, is going to be in Libra until November 5th, which means for you guys, it's going to be in your 11th house of friendships. So you guys are definitely going to be having a heavy focus on your social life, on your community around you, possibly going out and meeting new people, making new friends, meeting new connections, having some kind of basically skin in the game when it comes to your relationships. That's going to be a heavy emphasis for you until November 5th. So that's a pretty big deal. So in terms of making friends and connections and receiving help from people, you're going to have a lot more blessings in that area of your life until November 5th. So really focus on utilizing that. Use the astrology, use the energy, ride the wave instead of going against it. So on the 4th of the month, Mercury is going to be making a trine to Saturn. So this could be a really great time to improve communication in your relationships. So if you've been wanting to have any kind of friendship or any kind of difficult conversation with somebody, this is such a good time to do so. And I see a really positive outcome, a lot of growth, a lot of personal development, a lot of wisdom that you're going to gain from this experience. Because on the 20th, Mercury will then trine Jupiter, which is also in your 3rd house. So this is ease, this is flow of communication, this is being much more optimistic in your thinking, encountering people who are much more understanding, who are much more receptive to what you have to say. But then just 2 days later, Mercury makes a square to Pluto in your 2nd house. So I feel like if this is coming from someone else, it can kind of contradict the previous energy where you felt like things were going so well, then 2 days later you have other people kind of pushing back. But honestly, my gut feeling or my intuition is more so telling me that this is related to money. And as I said that, I pulled the abundance card. So I kind of don't feel like this has anything to do with relationships at all. On the 22nd, of course it could, but what I'm getting from this on the 22nd when Mercury squares Pluto in your 2nd is really related to your mindset around money. You could be feeling a little bit scarce. You could be feeling like you are worried. There's like a fear that oftentimes comes up with Pluto. And this is telling me that you guys are actually very abundant and you will continue to be abundant. But this card is telling me that you might not actually feel that way. You might need to make some shifts in your mindset in order to feel this abundance, because it is around you. I'm getting the sense that you are supported, but that maybe you don't quite feel that way on the 22nd. On the 27th, when Mercury goes retrograde in Libra, this is going to be your opportunity to go back and examine any of those issues that you've had. So if it's mindset around money, you can go back and examine it. If it's any kind of communication issues or friendship issues, this is your time to go back, fix those things from the past, have those old conversations about old issues, and resolve them, tie them up. Mercury retrograde is having us attend to the loose ends so that we can move forward in a more positive direction in the future when it goes direct. So again, the 27th is your chance to do this for some period of time. Then you're going to have Mars in Virgo, which is in your 10th house of career, and it's going to be there for half of the month. On the 14th, it will move into your 11th house. So this is a really perfect time for you guys to have this equal split of energy going from your career in the first half to your friendships and connections in the second half. Even though on the very first of the month in September, Mars is going to oppose Neptune, you might actually feel like you have some lack of clarity at this time. Mars wants to move forward. It wants to make decisions. It wants to take action. It doesn't want to sit and think about everything and worry and wonder. It wants to go. It wants to, like green light, action, let's go. But opposing Neptune, I get this feeling that's like, even though you want to take all this action in your career, you still might have some uncertainty about certain elements of this. And so I think that's why I pulled the 7 of Cups, which says choices. This is actually the Neptune card, and it can leave us feeling like we're in a little bit of a head fog where we have a lot of drive and energy, but we don't know where to put it. Or maybe our drive and energy wants to be there, like intellectually we want to be going after it, but then physically we are a little bit stifled. So Neptune can kind of take the wind out of our wings in some sense, whether that's around clarity or energy or whatever. So I feel like it's possible that one of the expressions of this could be that you have multiple choices and you're really in this state of confusion about what to do. Or you could just be like energetically lacking what you need in order to make progress on the very first of the month. But on the 6th of the month, Mars is trining Pluto. I freaking love this. Especially in your career, Mars trining Pluto is saying that you have ambition, you have drive, you're willing to go out and do what it takes, especially to make money, to get some sense of security in your finances. You're going to be like this kind of energy bunny. So whatever you're experiencing at the beginning of the month isn't there anymore. You're now feeling like you have what it takes to go after what you want. Then Mars is going to move into your 11th house of friendships on the 14th, and it's going to make a trine to Saturn on the 25th, and Saturn again is in your 3rd house. So this is an opportunity for you guys to improve old communication patterns. You might, even though this is a positive aspect, these are two malefic planets that can be challenging. So Mars can sometimes make a little bit more, it can make us a little bit less patient. It can make us a little bit hasty in our decisions, hasty in our reactions and our impulses. With the trine to Saturn, it's going to mitigate this. It's going to make it a lot more stable in terms of reacting to how you relate to other people, to your connections, to your friendships, and how you communicate with them. It's going to stabilize that a little bit more, and it's going to make it a little bit easier to resolve past conflicts. However, because they are two malefic planets, sometimes it can bring up something that takes a lot of effort, something that feels burdensome, and it's like you want to react, but then you hold back. It can feel not the best, even though it is a positive aspect, meaning it can have a positive outcome. You still might find that it's a little bit uncomfortable at this time in regards to communication or resolving issues. Even though it will likely have a positive outcome, it might feel uncomfortable, is what I'm trying to say. Now let's talk a little bit about your relationships. So we're going to look at Venus, which is in Libra. Venus loves to be in the sign of Libra. It feels at home here. It feels safe here. It's going to improve relationships just by being in this sign. It's going to be in Libra in your 11th house of friendships. So your relationships are going to feel, they're just going to be like, they're going to feel a little bit easier, even though I'm about to tell you something that's difficult on the 5th. Generally, it's going to feel easier, more flowing up until the 10th. And then Venus will then move into Scorpio, which is going to be in your 12th house. So you might have a little bit of time to kind of have a break or disconnect from relationships after that. So, okay, on the 5th, Venus is going to square Pluto. So even though Venus is in the 11th house and shining a light on your friendships, it's bringing some harmony to those relationships. The square to Pluto can shift this energy slightly and make it a little bit more challenging to understand people, for people to get along. It's kind of throwing a monkey wrench in a situation. It makes people more controlling, more jealous. It brings out the negative shadow sides of our friends or our connections. And it could come around this feeling of around finances or around this desire for a sense of independence and stability that your friendships might not understand or might go against in some respect. So there is some like destabilizing effect that happens on the 5th. But on the 6th, Venus will then trine Jupiter in your 3rd house. So you'll have a conversation or a mindset shift or something around ideas and communication that will shift this into a higher octave, that will transmute this energy to become much more positive. So whatever was going on around this time is going to feel like you've resolved it. Whatever issue kind of comes up is going to feel like it's passed by, that you've learned from it, that you've grown from it, that you've received some wisdom from it. And it doesn't just mean that the situation with that person, like it doesn't mean if you're in a relationship or a friendship and you have an issue come up that you will remain friends or won't. It just means that whatever outcome from that situation occurs is ultimately positive for your growth and for your well-being and your feeling of lightness in your heart. So I don't know what that outcome is for you personally, but it's going to improve. I do want to make a comment because on the 6th, when Venus trines Jupiter, the sun is also trining Uranus on this day. So again, I feel like whatever happened in your relationships kind of prior to this is going to kind of trigger you to desire to make a change to some aspect of your career. And I do think that this is important because You got the Seven of Cups, which is about choices, and then right after you got the Judgment card, which is about needing to make a decision, and a decision that can alter the course of your life, that actually has a significant impact. So I am getting the sense that around the 6th, you're going to have some decision either around friendships, but I think it's mostly around career, honestly, or those could be somehow intertwined. But I do get the sense that you're going to make some shift around your career that you need to decide now, and it's going to have a big impact, like I'm saying. So whatever that is, trust your gut. Trust that you know what decision is the right decision, because you have all the energy supporting you. Venus trining Jupiter, Sun trining Uranus. This is a positive change that's going to lead to growth. So don't make the decision out of fear. If you're leaving something behind, recognize that this is going to liberate you and actually bring you more success in the future. This is very positive placements for this. So yeah, just recognize that whatever fear might be coming up the day before, or whatever issues might be coming up the day before, are just unlocking this next level for yourself, where you're going to make a decision and it's going to catapult you into your version of yourself 2.0. So that feels like really, really big here. And I think it's going to help lead to a greater sense of abundance. And this means both mentally, physically, monetarily, every aspect of your life, relationships, love, abundance is in all areas. And so I feel like when you make this decision and you act from a really determined and confident place, because wands are about confidence and knowing that you know the next right step. When you make that decision from that place, it's going to lead you to a greater level of abundance than you've experienced before. And what's funny on this card is that there's a 5 on the top, 223, which equals 5 in numerology. 5 is about change. So abundance is going to come through change. So don't be afraid to make that change. Don't resist the change, especially around the 6th of the month. On the 17th, Venus is going to make a square to Saturn. So at this point, Venus is going to be in your 12th house, squaring Saturn in your 3rd house. Personally, I don't like this. Venus in the 12th, it's not the worst, but it's just a time when relationships either aren't a focus, or they aren't as fulfilling, or they're just not like reaching us like it normally does. Any planet moving to the 12th house is hidden in some respects. It's not as active, as visible, as helpful in our lives as it's supposed to be. So from the 10th onward, Venus will be in the 12th house hidden, and it's in one sense can be neutral. It just doesn't have an effect. In another sense, it could be possibly bringing up like more secretive events, or it could be somehow negative or bring up stuff from the past, because the 12th house is not usually the easiest house to deal with. When it makes a square to Saturn in your 3rd house, you could possibly have some communication issues arise at this time, or ideas that feel like thoughts that feel quite difficult or negative, and you get this kind of I feel like it's more of a pessimistic feeling, or you just don't feel as good. Venus contributes to our overall sense of well-being, and when it squares Jupiter, it's challenging us. It's telling us that something about our way of communicating or our way of thinking is actually holding us down or making us feel quite low. And so this is your opportunity to make a shift to that. On the 23rd, when Venus opposes Uranus in your 6th house, you have an opportunity to make a shift, especially around your mental health, but also even around your physical health, or just around how you set up your day, set up your routines. There's some aspect of well-being and taking care of yourself that needs to shift in order for you to get out of that low vibration. And so on the 23rd, be very mindful of what comes up, because something is going to come up for you as an idea, as a shift, as a change that's going to create some sense of liberation and lightness, and bring lightness to that square. So this is going to be really important around that date. And if you do decide to pursue that change, which I think you will, on the 29th, Venus will trine Neptune, which is in your 4th house, and on the 30th, Venus will square Jupiter in your 3rd house. This is an opportunity for your mind to feel like it gets some rest, where you feel like you are emotionally at ease, you have a lot more self-compassion and self-love, your mindset is able to shift in a more positive way, and you're able to think more optimistically about your future because of those ways that you decided to change in how you take care of yourself on the 23rd. So make sure that you make those shifts, because you have the opportunity to be much happier. So essentially, just don't forget to be determined. This is the time for you guys to shine in your career, especially for up until the 22nd when the sun is in your 10th house. So that's very exciting for you guys, Sag and Sag Rising. If you like this, please like and comment down below, and I hope you have such a beautiful day. Bye.